Plotting straight line graphs. Now, before we start looking at plotting diagonal straight line graphs involving a gradient and a y-intercept, we're just going to look at two simple situations that you occasionally get asked to plot in an exam, which is, can you plot x equals 3 and y equals 2? So what does it mean for x equals 3? Well, remember, on a coordinate grid you have the x-axis and the y-axis, and if we were to look at this point here, that's the coordinate 1, 1. But what does the coordinate 1, 1 mean? Well, it means the x part is 1, and it means the y part of the coordinate is also 1. So if we were to look at this point here, that means 4, 5. So that means the x part is 4 and the y component is 5. But what we're asked is where is the x equal to 3? So if we were to look at this point here, that is 3, 1. And if we were to look at this point here, that is 3, 3. If we were to look at this point here, that is 3, 7. And this one here is 3 minus 2. And what you should notice about these four coordinates is that all the x parts are all 3. So the x in all of these four coordinates is equal to 3. And that is what the line x equals 3 looks like. It's a straight line. You'll use a ruler and a pencil in the exam. It's a straight line going through where all the x coordinates are equal to 3. X equals 3. Likewise, when you look at y equals 2, well, this time, if we look at this coordinate here, we've got 1, 2. This coordinate here is 4, 2. This one here is minus 2, 2. So in these three coordinates, all of the y components are all 2. So anywhere along this line here, the y coordinate is always 2. So that is the line y equals 2. So x equals a number is a vertical line going through a number, and y equals a number is a horizontal line going through that particular number. So now we have a look at plotting a diagonal straight line, and we're asked to plot the line y equals 2x plus 2, and it firstly says complete this table for y equals 2x plus 2. Now if you're asked to plot any diagonal line, you need to set yourself up a table first consisting of an x and a y, where the x part represents the x in our equation and the y is the y part in our equation. So I always start with the positive values first. So if we start with 0 first, so wherever x is in the equation, we're going to sub in the value 0. So 2 times 0 is 0, add on 2 is 2. Now if we put 1 in, 2 times 1 is 2, add on 2 is 4. We put 2 in now. 2 times 2 is 4, add on 2 is 6. If we put 3 in, 3 times 2 is 6, add on 2 is 8. Now what you should notice is that these values are going up in 2s. So that means this way it's going down in 2s. So the next one, for its minus 1, would be 0, and for minus 2 it will be minus 2. Now these values that we found here are actually our coordinates. So this coordinate on the end represents 3, 8. This one here, 2, 6. This one, 1, 4. And what you're asked in the second part is, it says on the grid draw the graph of y equals 2x plus 2, which is what we've drawn in this first part of the question. All we need to do is, for the x values minus 2 to 3, we're just going to plot our coordinates on the graph. So we've already labelled some of them. So 3, 8, 2, 6, 1, 4. The next one is 0, 2, minus 1, 0, and finally we've got minus 2, minus 2. And don't make the classic mistake that some people do at this point and forget to draw a straight line. You must get your ruler and your pencil and draw a nice straight line going through those coordinate points. And that is the graph y equals 2x plus 2. Now I mentioned the word gradient earlier on and y-intercept. Well, the gradient is for every one square across, how far do you go up? Well, for one square across we go 2 up. So this has a gradient of 2. And the y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. Well, this line crosses the y-axis at 2. So the y-intercept is positive 2. And finally, for the last mark, it says plot on the grid, draw the line, on the grid, draw the graph of y equals 5. Well, we know from earlier on in the video that any y equals a number is a horizontal line going through that number. So y equals 5 is that line there. And we should really label our line, so that's y equals 2x plus 2.